So the plan for today is that I'm going to do it in two parts. I'm going to spend the first 15 minutes talking to you about the what is AI, how it works, which is machine learning, the different applications of AI, its limitations and risks. And in part two, which is going to be the bulk of our talk, is going to be on generative AI and ChatGPT primarily. Okay. And by the way, all the images that you see on my presentation have all been generated by AI, not the presentation itself, but all the images by DALI. So what is AI? How would you define AI, right? It is the ability of machines to perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence. That's why you have the word artificial, which is made by humans, and then the word intelligence. And what is intelligence? How would you define that? I think we were all very intelligent women who went to Wellesley and remain so. Uh, and I think the way I define intelligence is in this manner. It's an ability to take in knowledge or information, learn it or process it, and then to have the ability to apply it in a different situation also. So if you look at intelligence in this parameter, the way I would say that AI works or AI learns is machine learning, where the machine, if it has an ability to learn from data, it has an algorithm which is similar to different people's brains and the way it processes the data, and then it makes a decision or a prediction on what to do with that information, right or wrong. And I think the interesting thing about AI is that in spite of it being a technology, I consider it a live technology. It's not like coding, right? Where you give instructions to a computer and the computer will do what you say. It's not like your Word and your PPTs where you are in control. AI is actually interacting with you. It's learning from you and it's learning from all sorts of data, right? It's not limited only to text or images. It is actually learning. So sorry to just retract. So if I were to define machine learning, it is a technique used to make machines learn from data without being explicitly programmed. So you're not really telling AI what to learn. It's learning, through experiences. And here I want to correct myself because there are different kinds of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. So in supervised learning, you're actually labeling things for the machine to learn, much like we teach children that this is a cat, this is a dog. And then the child is able to decipher between cats and dogs. Unsupervised learning is how we learn by observing without anybody really telling us what's happening. And that's where perceptions come in, and we may be right or wrong. And that's exactly how AI works. It could get it right, it could get it wrong. So it's not like a calculator where whatever it gives you will be 100% right, which is why it is so important for the human to always be in the loop and never suspend their thinking, which is why I think AI literacy is imperative for all. If at any point anybody has a question, please do put it in a chat. I'll be sure to address it, in the Q&A. So when I was talking about data, AI is learning from all kinds of data, whether it's text, images, videos, sounds, numbers, right? That's practically everything. So every time you interact on a connected device where you're giving a thumbs up, to a friend's post on Facebook or Instagram, when you're listening to music, when you're reading news, AI is learning. It's in our Gmail, it's finishing our sentences. It's literally everywhere without us even realizing it. In fact, we became more cognizant of the fact about AI after ChatGPT. But did we know Google Maps was powered by AI? Amazon recommendation was powered by AI. Our spam filters in our email from eons ago was powered by AI, right? There's so many applications that we don't even think about, which are quietly working under the hood, learning from us. Which is why we should be mindful how we are engaging with technology. So what are the different applications and impact of AI? The reason I also do this is because if anybody is running a business or is in any profession, you would be able to use AI in your business, to enhance productivity. Also, I like to think of AI as a tool. It's not just me, AI is a tool. So in business, the idea is that we want to make more money. So you either increase sales or you reduce your cost, right? We want to increase efficiency. If AI can be used as a tool to do that, you should deploy it. Don't just deploy AI because it's the in thing and the flavor of the day. No, it's a tool that you will only use if it's meeting your objective at a price which is worth it. So the different applications of AI are computer vision. An example is what you see your facial recognition. In industry, you can have so many applications. In this picture, I have a picture of animals and poaching. So it's for images. It can be in medicine. For figuring out whether X-ray is malignant or not. So you can think of other applications of computer vision and think about your own work and say, can I use this application of AI in my work? But as a consumer, all of these AI is already there in our lives. Recommendation system is, as you can see, it's in all our OTTs, Amazon, Spotify, Netflix, etc. In industry, we are using it for hiring. We are using it for college applications, whether a child is going to be accepted or not. And you can see that this is very dangerous if a person is not in the loop and you allow the AI to make decision autonomously without the human being there, because there would be biases, there would be inaccuracies. In something like a Spotify or a Netflix, it doesn't matter if you choose the wrong movie and the Amazon decides what you should be watching. But for our real life situations, that does matter. NLP or natural language processing is what you see, for customer service facing industries, which is practically everything. And on the home front, it is Alexa's, the Siris, who are able to interact with us in a conversational style. Predictive forecasting and anomaly detection go hand in hand. This is data driven, where in predictive forecasting, with given past historical data, the AI is able to predict what it thinks would be the future prices or future trends. And this is an example of unsupervised learning where you're not explicitly programming the AI, but it sees a pattern in the past data and is able to give you a prediction. And again, it's upon us to decide that does this make sense and not just take it at face value. So just as predictive forecasting is seeing a trend in data, if there are any outliers, that's called anomaly detection. And obviously an application would be for credit card fraud, where, we do get phone calls sometimes, right? When we make a purchase which is out of the ordinary. And that's not being done by a human. It's only AI who can catch it just as you're making that purchase so that they can stop it if it needs to be done. Now, what is interesting is that NLP that we spoke about, we had chatbots before the ChatGPT. But something changed last year. When ChatGPT 3.5 was released by OpenAI, what they had done differently was they trained the AI with practically all of the internet, 175 million parameters. They did it without permission to. But because it was not a publicly listed company, it was a non-profit research company, they were able to just open it up to the public and see what goes with it. And that was a whole new type of AI called generative AI. So what I would say is these five that you see, computer vision to predictive forecasting, was foundational AI, which already existed, but we were sometimes not aware that it was making decisions for us or, on us. Generative AI is a different ballgame because it democratizes the access of AI to us. The AI tools like the ChatGPT, the Midjourney, the DALI, and now you don't need technical skill sets to be able to use it, and it can help in enhancing your productivity. But again, it doesn't come without its own risks and limitations. I hope I'm clear till now and I'm not going too fast. Um, Actually, I have so much to cover that I tend to speak a little faster. So some of the advantages of Foundational AI is that it helps you personalize, your experience when you're using those applications. As you can see with Amazon, where it recommends things to you, it reduces the burden on resources. This is an example of, in medical care, where a radiologist or a doctor may be tired or may make a mistake, or may not be in a great mood. But, you could use AI as a second opinion, not as a replacement of a doctor or a support staff, but as a second opinion. In my mind, I always look at AI as a tool, as a second opinion, not as a replacement, which is why I'm personally of the firm believer that's about reskilling and upskilling and not displacements of jobs. It saves time, right? It's a tool that produces efficiency. And I like to show this example because, I think most of us are from the era of Hotmail, when we had to go in there and filter our mails manually by saying spam or not spam. But over the years, the AI has been trained so well by us that now occasionally we go in and we check to see that no important mail has gone into the spam. Isn't that right? So it helps also automate repetitive tasks. When you have copious amounts of data and you can take it as a tool, but again, you make the decision. It's AI has made things far more accessible. It is more cost effective. This is an example of, again, using it in wildlife to, prevent poaching, etc. I have told you all a lot of the advantages of using AI, in your personal life or your professional life, but it has lots of limitations and risks which we should be mindful of when we are making a choice. So, what are the limitations that one should be mindful of? One is inaccuracy. We saw that AI learns from data. Just like if I give you only a subset of information on a particular topic, your decision would depend upon what you know. If you do not know what else exists, you would have a biased answer or you would have an incorrect answer. If your data is not representative of the testing data, for example, if all your AI has been trained on men or a particular ethnicity, and then you put in, or you ask it for predictions on women or a different ethnicity, it may not have an accurate answer. So we should be mindful of what is the data and what is the algorithm that is being used. So inaccuracy, huge privacy concerns. Nobody's really asking us for permission on how they are using our data or what data of ours is being collected. All the governments around the world are making AI acts, but they are also not uniform and they are not being put into place yet. So we should be very, very mindful on the privacy issues with AI. I spoke about bias and inequality. Humans have a lot of inherent biases. These are getting amplified with technology, which is why it is very, very important for us to remember this. We may think that we are not biased, but we are limited by our own knowledge, right? So whenever we work in teams, it's important to have the diversity so that we can try and mitigate the bias to the best of our ability. The environmental cost of AI computation is huge. It's leaving a carbon footprint. I believe that training an AI model has a carbon footprint of 650,000, um, and I forget the unit for it, but I know that it's equivalent to the lifetime of 5 American cars, which is insane. Another crazy statistic that I read was that if I do 20 queries on ChatGPT, it requires a 500 milliliter of water to cool it down. This is some serious environmental cost that we are talking about. And sometimes our use of these AI things is quite frivolous, right? And now the big tech companies are also duplicating resources by having their own versions of LLMs, all at a cost to our planet. So these are some of the limitations. The other one is a filter bubble. I don't know how many people are on Facebook and you all got a message saying that, if you're not seeing this friend's post, please click on it now so that you can start seeing the friend's post. What happens is because AI is learning from your past behavior, depending upon what you read or what you click on, it will give you only that kind of information. So if you're supporting a particular, um, you know, side in politics also, you will see that, most of your news feed would be around that politics and you will not learn the other side. And that's what's called the filter bubble, where because the AI is personalizing for you to such an extent that you don't even see that there's another world around it. When we used to get the hard copy of a newspaper, we decided what we wanted to read. Now the AI is deciding what we should be reading, depending upon our past choices. I have put in job loss because I know that people are going to, downsize their teams because people are going to get productive who do use AI in their jobs. But I think the way to look at it is that everybody needs to upskill and learn AI. It is a skill set that we all will use. Law and policy, because governments are not being able to keep pace with the advancement in AI. And I think that is a drawback. And the last one is misinformation. Today, the way AI is working, it's very hard to decipher between real news and fake news. And I think that's something that we should be really prudent about. Uh, I also wanted to quickly touch upon ethical AI because we heard about responsible AI, in the news. And at Coding and More, one of my educators came up with this acronym FIRST, fairness, inclusivity, responsibility, safety, transparency. And essentially what this means is that when you're building an AI model, ensure that it is not biased, it is inclusive, it is responsible, it has been made for the benefit of the community, it is safe, it will not break down, it is transparent in the sense that if it has been made for a certain purpose, it is only for that purpose and not some other underlying issue. And explainable AI, a lot of the AI models that are being built by humans, we don't know how AI is coming to that prediction, just like how we don't know, right? When we make a decision that we have an instinct and we say, this is why I'm choosing this. And so AI also has a black box, and the researchers are working on having explainable AI so that we know on what features it's basing its decision on. It's not yet there. So these are some things that we should be mindful of. And this brings me to the end of my first part. And now I'm going to move on to ChatGPT as promised. I just wanted to quickly show you the slide to say, as individuals, the action we need to take is become AI literate, have responsible use of AI, upskill ourselves, and advocate, for responsible AI. Don't give away your rights. And obviously for developers, they need to do all of these, and governments. And now I move on to generative AI, and today I'll be touching upon large language models. And I know that ChatGPT is what people synonymously think about when they think of generative AI, but there are others. And one should remember that there are others because some are good at something, some are better at other tasks. So you'll have either ChatGPT, Gemini, or Cloud. There are others, but I chose to, show these three, and we can also run through all three of them today, time permitting. And I quickly wanted to share another Mentimeter to see how many people are on ChatGPT. Give me 1 second. Okay, before I go to that, let me just quickly tell you what ChatGPT is. So, chat comes from the word chatbot and it uses NLP. And GPT is the AI part, which basically stands for, and it stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. What that means is it's pre-trained AI model that has been trained on language, which is why we often hear that ChatGPT is not good at doing math. It may be good at images, but that's a different model. It's not the large language model. And again, it works in the same way as all traditional AI. There's data, it was processed by an algorithm and it gives you a prediction. But also remember that all of AI, even the ChatGPT, is being trained by humans. The labeling has been done by humans, and humans still go in to make sure that the kind of answers that you're getting are not biased, not malicious, are not hallucinated. The way I think about ChatGPT is again as a co-pilot or an assistant, which if used correctly will save time, increase productivity, enhance your learning, will enhance your creativity. So it's humans and AI. Think of it as your personal free assistant. These are some of the use cases that I think AI ChatGPT has. And we will now look at examples of how to do this. So let's get started. I'm just going to quickly share a Mentimeter with you. And 1 minute. Just give me 1 second. I'm just looking for the code. And can everybody see my slide? And can you all click on this, please? I love it. Everybody has used it so far. Okay. I hope you're not just doing, okay. That's quite a bit.
Are we supposed to just tap on the screen?
I actually sent the link on the Zoom chat. So if you click on it, it will allow you to vote, yes or no. It's in the chat.
Okay. Let's see.
If you just click on the link, it will take you directly to the page.
Got it.
And I think everyone has voted so far, huh? What do you think, Becky?
Yeah, I think you can go ahead. Yeah.
So it's 60-40, right? If my math is not bad. 18 people have used it and 14 haven't. And the next thing I want you all to do is, has everybody logged into ChatGPT, or would you all like me to share the link?
I think sharing the link would be helpful, actually.
Yeah, so I'm going to do just that. 1 minute. Okay, everybody's got that? So now in this interactive session of ChatGPT, I'm using ChatGPT 4, which is a paid version. But if everybody can go ahead and log into chatopenai.com, I want to show you a couple of things before we begin. One is, if you go to the left-hand corner where it says Teaching Facilitator and you click on this, and you go into Customize GPT, you have something called Custom Instructions and what would you like ChatGPT to respond. Think about ChatGPT as your assistant. If you had hired somebody new who would help you with your task, you would want them to know who you are, what profession you're in, and how you like things done. So if you don't want to repeat yourself every time to the assistant, you can actually put it down here and save it. This is my teaching account, so I chose not to do it because I take on different personas in each chat, so I didn't do that. So that's one thing to remember. The other thing that you should know is that if you go into settings again under your name and you go into data control, you will see something called chat history and training. Because ChatGPT also is an AI, everything that we feed to it, it does go into their training. So if you do not want to be part of their training, you can toggle this off. But if you toggle this off, then your past history on the left-hand side will go away. So the thumb rule that I use is that whenever I'm, using ChatGPT or any large language model, I don't give any private data that I would not want a stranger to know. I know that a new feature that is coming in ChatGPT is memory, but it's not here yet. So we'll wait for that. And then I'll share what you can do with that. So given that ChatGPT is my personal assistant and I am a Wellesley alum just like all of you, I use it for my work. I use it for my personal life. And one example that I would like to show you is that as professionals, we all hire people. And if I were to tell ChatGPT, that help me to hire someone, the first thing I would do is I would say, oh, sorry, Susan says that she got stuck signing on up for ChatGPT, so she can't follow. Susan, yeah, I will reshare the instructions later. But once everybody is on, I'm now going to tell ChatGPT what I need help with. And the way I would write a prompt is by following a 6 parameter rule. One is give it a persona. Tell it to behave like a particular expert. Tell it who I am. What do I want? Who do I want it for? How do I want it? What tone do I want it? And that will help it to help me with my job that I'm giving it. So let's say I want to hire someone and I am an AI educator. So I will say, think like a HBS graduate who's working for a top recruitment agency. So this is the persona I'm giving ChatGPT. Since last 15 years, I'm the founder of an AI educational company, and I need to hire a team for marketing, education, finance. Okay, let's say I want that. This is what I want. And can you write job profiles for each of these roles so that I can post on my LinkedIn? Here, the more information I give ChatGPT or any large language model, the better would be the result. If I stop here, we can see what happens. You all can all see my screen, right? So if I had actually told ChatGPT a little more about my company information or the culture or the mission, it would have done maybe a slightly better job here. But it's still not bad, right? What do you all think? Do you like it? Thumbs up, maybe. So the thing is, whatever information ChatGPT does give you, you do not have to accept it the way it's been given. Then you can work with and say, can you elaborate? Can you, you know, do it, given that my company culture, yeah, it is really fast. I agree with you. It is incredible. I mean, so you see, this is how it's improving your efficiency. And the better details I give it in my prompt, the more aligned it would be with my company. But even if after it's done this and I feel that no, it's at the forefront of AI education, committed to empowering learners, our mission is to making, I believe very strongly about women empowerment. So I could put thank you, ChatGPT. And the reason I say thank you to ChatGPT, even though it's a machine, is because at the end of the day, it's learning from us. And I'm hoping that in the future, it will also continue to be polite to us. Thank you, ChatGPT. Can you add in the company description that we are all women run, work from home only, and flexi time? Okay. Uh, can you weave it in the narrative in a what tone should I use? In a empathetic tone?
Yes.
Empathetic tone? So you can also define what kind of tone you want, how many words you need, which format you need it in. So you understand that part, that you do not have to accept whatever ChatGPT gives you at one go. You have to work with it. Just think of it as a human assistant, as intern that you have taken in under your wings, who you need to explain to, how you work. If you're using ChatGPT as a team, please remember that the way ChatGPT works is a statistical forecasting. So what that means is, if the same prompt all of you gave in at the same time, and I can copy my prompt and share it with you, you will see that all of us will get a different answer. And let's say you're working in a team and one particular person gets an answer which is bang on, and then you want to continue the conversation. What you can do is go to the right hand corner. Do you see an arrow with a little bucket side under it? You can go there, and I can copy the link and I can actually share it with you, so that if somebody wants to continue this conversation with this trail of thought, you can do so without, wasting time trying to get the same answer again. So this is a very neat thing to do if you're working in a team. So that was an example, of recruitment. In my professional life, I use ChatGPT for a second opinion now for everything. Because what happens is, all of us are very accomplished women. We are very strong in our writing skills. We have strong ideas. So you may think that, why do I need ChatGPT, right? When it came out in November, I was like, yeah, this is great. But I already have a voice, and I don't want to dilute my voice with ChatGPT's voice. So what I found effective was that I would do the work, and then I would put it in ChatGPT, as long as there was no personal information about me, anybody else, or the company. And I would say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you think I've missed anything? Can you rephrase it? And that worked well. So it was me working with ChatGPT as a co-pilot and not giving away everything and expecting to do something for me. Would you like me to show you an example of that? Or is that okay? If you want me to do an example of that, we'll do it in the Q&A. I'll move forward. If one of you, Dana or Destiny, somebody will remind me, I'll take out a document. I should have saved that. It didn't strike me. 2, I use it for all my communication. Again, I personally will like to write my emails myself. Then I ask ChatGPT to edit it. If you feel that no, it is easier for me for it to write it, give it a better prompt. If you're on ChatGPT 4, another very neat thing you can do is, let's say you have a huge document you want to read. And I had this document which is almost 23.8 MB, on the climate action, and I didn't have time to read it. So I can upload a PDF. And now I've made a mistake. Did you notice what I did? This was a chat in which we were talking about hiring. And I have gone and uploaded my document in the same chat. The right thing to do is go to ChatGPT and open a new chat so that it knows that this document has nothing to do with hiring. Otherwise, it has a slight memory which it will percolate in here. So that's a human error. I mean, I should just have done a new chat, but nevertheless. Now, what I can do is say again, act like an environmentalist. This is the person I'm giving ChatGPT, who cares about climate action deeply. Read and analyze the attached document, and please give me the most important points in bullet points. Yeah.
How many pages was that PDF, Supriya, that you
I
uploaded?
think 13 to 14 pages.
Okay.
So this aspect of uploading a document, only ChatGPT 4 can do. Gemini can't do it currently, in the free version. Gemini can read JPEG images, but not PDFs. So this is the only one that only the ChatGPT 4 can do, the paid version. But it's not bad, right? I mean, it saves you so much time. But the thing to remember is, if there's something which is of very high stake, I would still go back and read the document. This is a good way to get the salient points. Let's say, you have written a very wordy document. You can ask it to summarize it to, a certain word count. It can do that effectively for you. The other thing that, you can use again in ChatGPT, which I really like, is, let's say you want to analyze a data set. This is a data set on housing, on prices of houses, and there are different parameters given. I think I'll also show you all what that housing data set looks like, so that while it's reading it, you can see it. 1 minute.
I'm watching a Wellesley Zoom.
So this is a housing data set which has a couple of parameters. It's giving you the position, it's given you the age of the house, the rooms, the total number of bedrooms, the population of that place, households, median income, the house value, and the proximity to the ocean. And what we wanted to see is that what does the price of the house depend upon in these parameters. So if I go back to the sheet, you can see my ChatGPT, right? I would now ask it, can you analyze the data set and tell me what is the relation between price of the house with the different parameters. And And this is just a basic question, right? But if you had other questions on a data set, if you wanted to analyze it, you could ask ChatGPT to analyze it. You could ask it to visually represent it. And we'll also try that. And this was a very small data set, but it also works on large data sets. And the good thing is if it was an image of a data set, I could also upload it on Gemini. And Gemini would be able to read a picture. Gemini today cannot read a Excel sheet or a CSV file. On a personal level, sometimes we get medicines from, Europe, and we're not able to understand what the ingredients are if they are in, French or Spanish. You can take a picture of the medicine and ask ChatGPT to tell you to translate it and give you, how to, what are the dosage, etc.
Two quick questions, Supriya. Someone's asking if you can delete PDFs or spreadsheets once you put them into ChatGPT. No.
You could, but it's already gone into the training data.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then secondly, can it analyze a data set that is embedded in a website?
I never tried it. But even if it was embedded in the website, I would take a screenshot of the data set. But I see what you mean, because it might be too large for you to take a screenshot. I never tried it. I will try it. And whoever's asked that question, why don't you give it a try? What do you have to lose? Nothing. Wow, this ChatGPT is really taking time analyzing this data set. It's done it so many times for me. It's never taken this long. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
And I actually checked it, by the way, to make sure that what it had given me manually, to see whether it was right or wrong. It was right. So, professionally, you can think of so many use cases, right? Where you could use ChatGPT for communication, for brainstorming, for business plans, for hiring, for making manuals, for summarizing. As Wellesley women who are always lifelong learners, the other thing that you can use ChatGPT for is, say, I don't really understand this concept. Can you explain it to me? Want to give it a try? So this is for upskilling. This is something that I also like schools to use, for the students, so they don't have to get a tutor. So I'll give an example for a child. I'm in the 5th grade and don't understand photosynthesis. Can you explain it to me with an example?
Supriya, can you ask it to share images as well to show like visuals?
Yes, you can. And please, can you give me a visual aid? Shall we try that? Again, when ChatGPT in the large language model itself creates an image, it's called multimodal. ChatGPT 4 today can do this. ChatGPT 3.5, which is the free version, cannot do it. But Gemini can do it. Gemini is Google's ChatGPT. I also wanted to share one more, point with you all, that the large language models like ChatGPT is very different from a Google search, because this is a conversational content maker. It's not a search engine. It can hallucinate. Do you like the image, by the way? Sorry, I'm
Ooh.
jumping topics. It's not bad. But did you notice? It's not getting the language right. Over here in the picture, this is something which is still in the works. It got water right, but All the other words are incorrect. ChatGPT is still learning that. But see, this is not bad, right? I've also tried using ChatGPT to ask it to take up my work, and wait and see whether the answer I'm giving is correct or not. Do you like this? So this
It
was
does
all.
seem like you'd do better to just Google, if you're looking for the image, the kind of visual aid, you probably would get much better results if you just Googled photosynthesis process photo.
That's one thing. Or the other thing is that, we could go to image generator. Adobe Firefly has an image generator. DALL-E itself is an image generator. We could go to one of them, which are made purely for images. But today, all image generators are having a tough time with the labeling. So if you were to use an image generator for, a specific task, what I would say is, have the generative AI make the image for you and then use another tool to put in the labels manually until, it has learned to write the words correctly too. It's a matter of time. I think before the end of the year, it will get it right. I hope I'm not being too optimistic. So this is a use case of learning a skill set or, asking it to explain something to you in a different way. That's another use of any large language model. On a personal front, how would you use ChatGPT? You know, you can use it. I'm perpetually trying to lose weight, and I can ask ChatGPT to give me a diet plan. I can ask it to make an itinerary for me when I go for a holiday. Which one would you like me to try on a personal front?
Oh, the vacation, actually, the trip itinerary is really interesting. I have tried that. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and
You
try that.
haven't? You've not tried it?
No, I have tried it. You go ahead. That would be a good one to do. Yeah.
Great. So I'll say you are an expert travel agent. Here I'm saying you're an expert travel agent because I don't know who the best travel agent is, or where a travel agent studies to let ChatGPT know that he has to go to the expert. Uh, please make a travel itinerary for my family for 2 weeks in the USA in May. My children love nature and loved Yellowstone. My budget per day is $500 too much? I don't know, or too
Priya,
less.
does it care about typos or will it understand
It
itinerary?
understands. It understands. That's the best part. You can talk gibberish to it, but give it the persona, give it who you are, give it what you want, how you want it, but it gets the rest. That's the beauty of it. That which is why I didn't go to type, rectify it. So given it a persona. I've told it I want a travel itinerary for my family for 2 weeks. They love nature and loved the Yellowstone last year, so it gets it. My budget per day is, can you suggest where to stay, where to visit, and what else can I say? And we need vegetarian food. We need vegan food. Let's make it harder.
Can you have it add flights? Like, or does it not? Like, in other words, could it not book it, but can it tell you the flights as well? Like, you should leave on this day.
That's a great question. So, another thing I wanted to add was today ChatGPT has been bought by Microsoft. If you are not an Apple user, you're on any Android computer, if you are using Microsoft Edge or if you have Bing as your search engine, you know, it does have plugins for you to actually book your flights, book restaurants, you know, and what is coming now in the world of AI are automation and agent actions. So what we will find is that we will be able to then do all of these. And I believe you can already book the tickets, you know, on Bing.
Mm.
And it's a matter of
Supriya,
time. Yes.
sorry, I was just going to throw in while it's still working. Someone has asked if you use ChatGPT, does it keep harvesting information from your other computer and browser work?
Mm.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. So, you know, my thumb rule is I like to use ChatGPT even on my phone on the web browser. I have not downloaded as an app. So I don't know the answer to that question. It's a great question. And to be very honest, the reason why I have also not gone into the automation and the AI agents is because I'm scared. I don't understand it enough to know what information is going where. So until somebody reassures me, I'm not doing it.
Mm.
So coming back to the scary slide, there are things that even I don't know enough about, so I don't do it. So these were a few examples of ChatGPT. The other really neat ones, that you should look at also, as I had mentioned earlier, one is Gemini, which is Google's version. I'll just put it in the chat so people have access to the link later on. And I know we are running short of time, but what I do want to do is quickly also tell you a few of the limitations of all these tools. So the limitations of any LLM is that A, it can hallucinate. What that means is that it may make up stuff that it doesn't really know. And the reason it does that is because the ChatGPT 4 is connected to the internet. Gemini is connected to the internet. And even though sometimes they give you the citations, you can ask that where do you get this information from? Can you also give me the website? Please do go and click on the website to see that it really exists. It even makes up that kind of stuff. So don't take anything that, these large language models give you as a gospel truth. It's always better to cross check. Two, it's important to remember that ChatGPT 3.5 has a knowledge cutoff. It has only been trained up to, I think, November 22. So after that, it will tell you that, I don't know this information because I have not been trained on that information. Uh, because it's been trained on language, if you ask ChatGPT to even some simple math, it may get it wrong and give you really good logic of why it's right. But it's better at math. It's better at languages. The part you saw about the images, it's because it's become multimodal and it also has a image generator, inbuilt inside it. And now my words that I'm using are not completely right. Essentially, OpenAI had two models. They had one for text, they had one for images called DALI. So they have used some of DALI's capabilities in ChatGPT 4 to also create images. Because all these large language models are trained on data, they can have biased perspectives. Uh, the confident tone may make you believe that they're right, but they may not be. So it's always good to cross check. And why we have written is it can be tricked to be unethical. It's because if you ask a large language model to tell you how to do an incorrect thing, it will tell you that I'm not allowed to share that with you. But if you say that, hey, I don't want to do the wrong thing, how can I avoid it? It will spill the beans. So we have to be very, very careful about that. And I just wanted to again go over this, slide so that when you are asking ChatGPT for help or any large language model, clearly specify what you want, who you are, who do you want it for, give the style that you want or the voice that you want. You can give it examples so that it knows what you're looking for. Give it a persona so that it goes deeper. It's almost like flattering it that, look, you're so smart. Think like a smart person, you have done so much. In fact, I've also read that sometimes people say that tell ChatGPT to take a breath, think about it and then deeply analyze it. Apparently, it gives you better results. And whatever answers you get, work with it so that it understands what you're looking for, or rather, you get what you're looking for. And some safety rules are that never share anything which is personal or proprietary. Even if you delete it, it will still be there. If you're using it for professional or academia, mention that you've used it. Don't take legal, financial, medical advice from it. And of course, this technology is changing as we speak. And I know that I have run out of time. I'm really sorry, but I'm happy to stay back and take questions. My only question to all of you is that after this workshop, how are you going to use your learning today? Thank you.